press the button.
Hello, ladies.
Sorry. Or this.
Alright. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Dirt Podcast. Because we are the best podcast. I'm not saying the whole intro. Today we have the latest and greatest myth, the legend, the greatest teacher of L.A.D. How are you doing, Miss Colbert?
Oh, wow. Thank you so much, Gerardo, for those kind words. And Gustavo, I love your being around. And thank you both for being such an integral part of the success at our school.
Thank you. So, Miss Colbert, how are you today?
I'm pretty good, thank you for asking. Yeah. Well, look who I'm sitting with. How could I not be good?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Now, Miss Colbert, last time we were speaking, we were talking about your time coming to New York.
Oh.
You mentioned you went to Brooklyn College? Is that
I
correct?
did. I studied at Brooklyn College and received a master's degree
Okay.
in social studies.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Why?
Why?
Yeah, why?
Long story short, the Teaching Fellows is an organization in New York that seeks to get people from other industries to come into the teaching field. So as a part of that outreach, I became one of the people they chose to be in Teaching Fellows. As a result of being in Teaching Fellows, they offered the opportunity to get master's degrees.
Oh, wow.
So it stemmed from there.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
But ironically, I was already going to City College to pursue my master's degree.
Was it the same social studies?
No, this was in special education.
Special, okay.
Right.
So you always had a mindset of going into teaching?
I think I always wanted to teach, but it didn't pan out that way. Life doesn't always go in the direction that you want it to go. So, I always wanted to teach. Spent some time in banking, spent some time in the entertainment industry.
Entertainment? What kind of entertainment?
Wow. Artist management. So back in the early 90s, I was fortunate enough to be related to my uncle.
Right.
Of course. And he and one other gentleman, I won't call names, we managed a group called the New Kids on the Block. Now you may know them, you may not know them. That goes back a while.
Right.
But anyway, so that's how I became part of artist management.
So it was like a TV show or
No.
a game show?
A group of guys, young guys singing.
Yeah. Oh, singing. Oh, really? Oh.
NKOTB.
Okay. What was that again?
New Kids on the Block.
New Kids on the Block.
NKOTB.
I'll be sure to check it out.
Right. Yes.
It's good stuff. I'm hoping.
We thought it was.
That's how it goes. So now, Ms. Colbert, you said this was around 1970s. You went to college.
Oh my goodness gracious, you're going way back.
Did you not mention 1970s?
I did. Well, I graduated from high school in 1970.
And then you entered.
Then I went to Lincoln University. That's for my undergraduate degree.
Okay.
Wow.
Now, would you say the climate of teaching or teaching in general have changed or have drastic change between then and now?
I don't know if the climate has changed, the methodology.
Yeah, but
has
it's
changed.
like what the methods a teacher uses before and now have changed drastically.
I don't think I would say drastically, but I would say they have totally changed. But I think it's moved in concert with what students need in terms of how they learn.
So it blends in with how
Gerardo.
life has changed.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it better.
Okay, that's good.
Yes, sir.
Now, we've heard of things where teachers would hit their students. Did it happen to you?
Physically?
Yeah, like a ruler?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Well, I started elementary school in 1959.
1959.
First grade, 1959-60. And it wasn't unusual for my first grade teacher to strike you with a ruler, sometimes with a belt.
Now, during this time, was it like a white and like black people school or all black school?
Well, my initial entry into the school was all black. I had all black teachers, ladies, I didn't have a man as a teacher until maybe middle school.
Middle school, okay.
But all of my teachers were fantastic. I can remember all of them right now.
Really?
I can tell you their names. You want to hear them?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Oh, that must have been a long time. Scobert, you have a great memory. I could already tell.
Thank you.
Yeah, I kind of struggle with that. Now, Scobert, have you ever had any bad experiences with racism? Like, what would you say is the worst experience in the education system?
Probably, on a personal note,
Yeah.
was I guess in 1971 when I graduated from high school.
Okay.
And that was the year in my hometown that the white schools and the black schools totally meshed together.
Right. Oh, okay.
Okay, because the way it had been done, they would do the first grade, it would take a while.
Yeah.
But my point is, by the time we got to the 12th grade, the schools were completely integrated. So at the time that it came to graduate, there was some discrepancy as to whether or not I should have been valedictorian or salutatorian.
Really?
Yeah.
So did it work out for you?
Well, it was okay. I mean, I ended up being salutatorian.
Salutatorian? Right.
But there were people who felt that maybe there was something not right.
So you were probably robbed from your valedictorian?
Could have been.
Could have been. Oh,
Possibly.
Okay. Now, this is a high school in Georgia?
Macon, Georgia.
Macon, Georgia.
Southwest High School.
Nice. You have any questions? So what was it like growing up in Georgia?
Fun.
Fun. How's the weather?
I was
The weather.
hot.
Hot? Oh.
Hot.
Was there like a black and white shade all around?
For the most part. For the most part.
Yeah.
Great way of asking the question.
So how would you say you spend your free time as a kid?
Riding my bike.
Like, okay.
Yeah. Playing baseball.
So you were always an active person.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's great.
I had two older brothers.
Oh, okay.
So, believe it or not, I was the baby. Hard to imagine, right? Going in like really hard to imagine.
Can't imagine.
Right. So, baseball.
Baseball.
On an open field. Not really a baseball field, but we would make it a baseball field. Mark it off. Put something there to be the plates and the bases.
So growing up, was there like TV?
Yeah. I've always been exposed to television.
Right.
Right, yeah, that was TV, black and white.
But would you say you spend most of your time outside or
Outside.
Outside. Oh, that's
Outside,
amazing.
outside.
Yeah.
Until I was, I guess, close to your age, we still had to do what we were told.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
all right. So now transition into house phones, telephones, into cell phones. How was that for you? What age would you say that like a flip phone came around?
That's a great question, because I had one. It was a Motorola.
Motorola, okay,
A
yeah.
little black phone.
Yeah.
Put it in your
Yeah.
pocket.
Like, would you say the 2000s?
Great question. Before that.
Before that, okay, yeah.
It would have to be maybe in the 80s.
80s, okay. And that was the transition for that. It was like the new best thing coming out, the futuristic.
Yeah, but it wasn't. It's an interesting question. I don't know if everybody thought it was the new best thing because it was not accessible to everybody. And when you utilized it, you would call somebody, but you didn't call them directly. You had to usually go through something they call roaming.
And then they would transfer your call.
Right,
Yes.
to one, depending on where or who you were trying to reach, you dial you right.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so the little black Motorola cell phone.
And how much does that cost?
I don't remember. That's a great question. That's a great question. And then moved on to the larger ones that look like bigger than a walkie-talkie.
Yeah.
With an antenna.
Oh, the brick
Motorola,
phones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Motorola had an antenna too.
Yeah. That sounds. Yeah.
Success.
That sounds nice. Would you say you transitioned well into the futuristic tech?
I think so. I've never been afraid of technology. I'm not quite sure where it's going now with you young people, but wherever you all take it, Gustavo, Gerardo, I'm going to try to be a part of it. Because I think you young people have unlimited possibilities, opportunities, and I implore you, I really implore you to take advantage of that and find your own niche. Find a way to be, the greatest, the best, the richest, the most creative. All of that is within your grasp. It really is, Gerardo.
Can't wait to see what we could do. Mr. Colbert, out of all schools, why did you choose L.A.D?
That's a great question. Well, L.A.D is now in the building where I initially taught school, which is Washington Irving.
Oh.
This was one gigantic school.
Yeah. And what time would you say that was?
2000, well, when I started, 2003, 2004.
Was this where you first started as a teacher?
Not first. My very first job was at environmental science over on 50th. I can't think right now. It's on the west side. Environmental.
High school?
Yes, still there. So I was there for 6 months.
Okay.
And, things are sort of up in the air. I was new to the system, being brought in by the Teaching Fellows Program, all of that kind of thing. To make a long story short, so I ended up coming here. And ever since.
So you've been here for most of your career?
Yeah.
Any big changes besides the different schools coming in?
It's a good question, Gerardo.
Do you think it worked out well that there was multiple schools instead of just one primary school?
No.
No, it didn't?
No, I didn't say it didn't work out well.
Yeah, but
I just didn't necessarily see the necessity.
Right.
But it's been fine.
Yeah.
It's been fine. I think I've always understood the mindset behind the smaller schools.
No.
But I really think that if it's going to be a smaller school, it needs to be the school.
Right.
But I admire you young people for being able to juggle that. I mean, you go from one floor to the next floor, and there's another school,
besides it being like a small school, I think everybody got to know each other well enough. Instead of like having a big school where we're all like apart, right? It builds like a better family between the grades. It's all right. Some of the students doesn't seem to like the school, so to speak, but they sort of live with it, right? They're graduating, they're happy, they're all. So why L.A.D?
Why L.A.D?
Yeah, out of all the schools that
Back
came.
to your question. When the opportunity presented itself, I definitely wanted to get back into the school building that I had come to know.
Yeah.
So that had a lot to do with it. I think that was primarily the main reason.
Okay. Yeah. And then L.A.D was like the best.
L.A.D is
Canada?
the best.
Yes, of course. But during the beginning.
Yeah. Yes.
Now, when you were a teacher, you would teach social studies or history?
Yes, I've always taught social studies. Every once in a while, I take a stab at math.
Math, okay.
And I did say a stab at it. But my training is social studies, as I mentioned to you, from Brooklyn College.
Right.
And even in undergraduate, my training is political science, my knowledge base. What's left of it.
So you found interest in history?
I did.
What in history would you say you primarily like most, or interests you the most?
That's a great question. All of it, but presidential history, American history,
American
in
history.
particular.
Okay.
Government,
Go.
civics, economics. All of those fall under the umbrella of social studies. Global.
It's really something else.
Useless. Yeah. This guy and I go back a long ways, Gustavo.
Are you kidding me?
Listen, I can picture him sitting right over there. Right over there. Of course.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
You got any questions? No questions from the man Gustavo.
Nothing you want to ask me?
No, let's go. History. Would you do it all again?
Yeah, of course. Of course. I wouldn't change a thing because, Gerardo, one of the things I'm sure you've already come to learn, and if not, you should. If you move one piece, then everything changes.
Right.
You can't segment it. I mean, if I changed one thing, I wouldn't have this great conversation that I'm having with you right now. I never would have met you 4 years ago.
Right.
And everything that I've done in that time, you have affected me.
Yeah.
You have helped to make me. You have helped to change me. So yes, all over again.
Studying history, do you think it repeats itself a lot?
I think it's similar to itself a lot. I think, I know people say that history repeats itself. I don't think identical, but I think similar.
What do you think that is?
Why?
Yeah.
That's a great question, Gerardo.
Do you believe people are ignorant about the history and tend to make the same mistakes?
I wouldn't say that they're ignorant about it, and I wouldn't say they make the same mistakes. I think that life unfolds. And I think that because we grow and we become different people, different maturities, we go in different directions, we still carry that commonality. But somehow or another we'll bring it all, I guess, full circle again.
Right, yeah. No.
So I think history is destined to repeat itself.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. But you've given me something to really think more about, particularly the way you phrase the question.
Yeah.
And the timing of your question.
Now, let's go over, what's your thoughts on religion?
I think everybody has some to some degree, whether they acknowledge it or not. I'm fine with religion. I do believe that there is a God. I think there are many ways to look at that God.
Right.
Now put it in quotes. But I think religion is up to the person.
Yeah, well, the way I see religion is more of like faith. Right? You're not sure if it exists, it's true. The Bible could be fake or not. Right? Personally, I believe in God. And I was growing up as, there's a big man up there that's, it's helping you out. It's making sure you're living life, best possible way he can. But either way, there's people with different religion, and that's their faith. Right? That's something that gives them hope, something to an end goal, or like something to make death more of a how would you say?
Relaxing?
Yeah, like a more comfortable, relaxing death. That where they're comfortable with, yeah, I live my life. I'm fine with this. Yeah, I know there's the next life for me out there. There's something to look for even after death. Yeah, mainly, I don't necessarily believe that there is a God, personally. I'm hopeful for, I'm faithful for, all the way, right? Because it gives you hope to people, and that's the best part of it. As long as this religion is giving you hope, happiness, you know, maybe even enlightenment and bettering your life or anything past your life. That's probably that goes a long way, and it's definitely helpful.
Yes, Gerardo, I subscribe to just about everything that you have said. In fact, it reminds me of an old expression. It says, have faith, hope, and charity. That's the way to live successfully.
How would you say your life, what's a motto you follow throughout your whole life?
The golden rule.
Golden rule? And what is this golden rule?
Do unto others as you'd have them do unto you.
Okay.
I try.
Yeah.
I try to be mindful of that.
Right. So what would you say is your secret to a longevity life?
My genes.
Genes, yes. Yeah.
I think so. I mean, well, my dad lived to be almost 95.
95, gee.
So,
Genes, yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, definitely, if cancer runs in your family, you obviously won't.
That's so true. And then don't forget that it doesn't necessarily have to run in the family as much as we may be the gene that generates that.
Yeah. Now, Ms. Colbert, people in their lives have dealt with loss. How do you think you handle loss?
Guess what? Chicken butt! Unless you're on stage, then bring your
My faith and hope.
Now, Ms. Colbert, you have lived a long life, long successful life, a meaningful life. What would you say? How did you come out of a dark place you might have been?
Gerardo, without being repetitive, and a lot of it has had to do with faith and hope and believing and changing your mindset.
Yeah, so.
And there have been dark moments, and then there probably will be more.
Right.
But I think you have to have some belief in something greater than you. I think that you have to acknowledge the greatness within you and let it run parallel.
Ms. Colbert, when were you born?
When? 1953.
1953.
Gustavo just like fell out of his seat almost.
What month?
Oh, September.
September. Wow. Do you still celebrate your birthday very often these days?
Yeah, somebody generally calls me, we'll do something. I mean, I'm not having any big birthday parties or anything like that. But yeah, I mean, of course. It is a celebration.
Yeah.
It's one way of marking a part of your life.
Nice. Yes. Colbert, as a young man, how do you spend your days?
When I was young, or now?
Now.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Relaxing. But relaxation comes in a lot of different ways. Relaxation for me can be swimming. I do a lot of swimming. I love to dance.
Dance? What kind of music?
Any kind of music. Yeah. I can move to anybody's music, any kind of music.
Okay.
I like to dance. And sometimes I just dance by myself. It's funny you would ask me that. We were sitting in my class earlier today, and I think a lot of students were somewhere else either having senior breakfast or something.
Yeah.
And the mood just hit me. So I put my earplugs on, and nobody was there, and I put on a song, and
Yeah, you just vibe with the music. Yeah, that's amazing.
So that's what I do. Yeah.
Any questions?
I'm enjoying just listening to it. It's a great conversation.
Jeez.
So, Gerardo, Gustavo, can we conclude?
Yeah, I believe so. One last question.
Which is?
Are you happy with how your life has gone?
Yes. How my life has panned out?
Yes.
It's still panning.
Yeah, of
which
course.
is what you said. Yeah, no regrets at all. That's a great question. Yes. Emphatically so.
Oh, that's amazing.
Emphatically so. In fact, I can't wait till tomorrow.
Always gotta look forward to tomorrow.
Well, in all honesty, right now, the fact that we won't have any school.
Yeah.
No, just that it will be another day.
Yeah. Right.
And another opportunity to help make somebody else's day brighter. That's my goal every day. I don't understand why that's not the motif for everybody. Because there's enough for all of us. So try to.
So now, Mr. Colbert, one last
enhance.
question.
Yes, sir.
You know, this is like more of a personal thing, but a lot of folks seem to dwell on the idea of death and are scared of it or fear it. What's your thoughts on it?
Death.
Death.
It's going to come. But that kind of goes back to what we were saying earlier in our conversation. There's an afterlife, I believe.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure what shape or form that takes, but I do believe that there is one. And I do think that there is some reward or punishment. Somehow.
Yeah.
Somehow. I'm not saying what in particular. I'm not saying there's an angel. I'm not saying there's a devil. I'm not saying there's a heaven. I'm not saying there's a hell. I'm saying there's something. And I don't think anybody knows, nor will we ever know. And the reason I say that because my dad always told me, he said, boy, if I can come back and let you know, I will. He couldn't. He hasn't. And I know he would. So I don't think we can. He kept his promises. So that just may be a part of what it is. And it may be no different. It may be no different than what it was before we were born.
Yeah.
In the making. In the making. Could be just that. I mean, if you think back and you ask your mother, of course, your mother always had some experience with your being with her. But there's no recollection of what we were doing in that development until they slapped us on the backside and we started screaming.
So, Mr. Colbert, before we finish off this podcast, any advice to young folks listening to this?
One piece of advice. Embrace the opportunity.
Embrace the opportunity. Okay. I like that. Well, Mr. Colbert, I've enjoyed our time.
Wow. I've enjoyed
It has
it.
definitely been an honor interviewing you.
Gerardo, thank you so much for taking the time to ask me these questions. Gustavo, thank you for being a part of this. Okay.
See you, Colbert.
Love you, man.
Love you too.
Well, that concludes the Dirt Podcast. Thank you for listening. We finally achieved our goal of interviewing a teacher, more like Gerardo interviewed the teacher. I didn't really have any questions for her, but that was a great. I was just very involved in the conversation. Thanks for listening.